In this lesson, we're going to continue building out our list for site placements where we might like to place a direct media buy. And as you guessed it, Google eventually was going to be one of those sources. So what we can do is we can go to Google and we can start looking around for organic traffic sources that are relevant to keywords that our customers are looking for. So if you remember, I mentioned entrepreneur.com in past lessons as an example. We would want to go to Google and start searching for key terms that those visitors might be looking for. They're entrepreneurs, so they're probably going to be looking for business tools, business solutions, marketing, advertising. These are things that we can start looking around and finding relevant to our demographic. You can also locate our competitor and then find out what keywords they're paying for, and then find those organic sources that are popping up for those keywords. And the way we can do that is by using the Chrome SEO tool, which allows us to pull up SEMrush and SpyFu, and it's going to tell us some information about what keywords they're ranking for and what keywords they're paying for. Now when we're going to Google, we need to remember that the high-ranking websites are going to be getting a lot of traffic. So remember, we don't want to target those sources where everyone is hanging out. We want to be very specific. And also, sometimes, for whatever reason, blogs on a particular topic will rank very high on one that's a little bit outside of their topic. However, the rest of their blog doesn't. So sometimes we can go to them and say, look, you don't get that much traffic, and they're probably not even aware that they're ranking very high for a particular keyword, and we can place a very cheap buy. Last month I found a blog that was about travel. However, for whatever reason, he wrote about a medical condition that he had, and he was ranking very high, I believe number 3 in Google for a keyword that is $10 plus per click on the Google network. And I bought an ad space from him for $50 for the entire month. And if you do this, you need to keep an eye on the ranking page. So, like I said, his blog ranked very high, number 3. I should keep an eye on that because his rankings might drop. So let's jump on over to a screencast and get into an example on locating some sources. So staying consistent with our examples, I'm here at entrepreneur.com, and we're going to go over to the SEO Chrome, and right here we have search stats. So we can either use SEMrush Rank or SpyFu. And I'm going to go with SpyFu and go to pay-per-click keywords. It's going to pull up a report about their paid and organic keywords. And we're going to see here are the paid keywords that they're using, when they were using them, organic keywords, and their top organic competitors. We'll be able to use these keywords when we go back to Google to see if they're relevant for our demographics and who we want to target. We can also go to these websites and run the same reports as we are right here and collect more information to go back to Google and do some further research. So let's go to these keywords and let's take a look. Earn cash online. Why don't we try that one? So let's go to Google. Okay, so let's take a look around here. I'm going to search for a blog just to begin. Erica.biz, 20 scam. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if she has advertising. This is definitely it. I don't like this format, but let's also see. She's got 190 comments on this article. So that's pretty big. She's got an RSS feed here. And let's go ahead and pull up, see what her traffic numbers are like. We want to know if she's way above, way below. So here it's reporting 21,000 US uniques. She's been a little bit all over the place with her traffic numbers, but we don't know how reliable that number is there. That just gives us an idea. So look at this. She's got 16,000 497 FeedBurner readers. Okay, so this is all good things that we want to see. And the next thing, we might as well go ahead and look at her Alexa to see what the demographics are. So 25 to 34, if you remember, that is our sweet spot. And, you know, mostly female. Her clickstream, you know, she has traffic coming from Google, which is good. And let's take a look here. See, this is, I always look at this because look, 47% of her visitors are from the US. That means that 53% is coming from somewhere else outside the US. This is something that you want to know. Now, that might not matter if you have an international offer. This is something that we need to know because, you know, she's going to come to us, I guarantee, with her site stats, and she's going to pump up this number, and we're not even, if we didn't read this, going to realize that 47% of it is actually what the US traffic, if we're only going after US traffic. The next popular location is Bangladesh. You know, developing nations, they don't have the money. So it depends on what our offer is. About 66% of the visits of the site are bounces. This is also something we want to look at because they come in on one page view and then they're out. You know, what's making them do that? And, you know, that traffic is not going to convert. So we got a little bit more information here. So we go back to Erica's site here, and let's pull up her Quantcast. Take a look at that. So Quantcast is giving us 5,000. So this is a very different picture, but I'm doubting that it's very accurate. We don't have any demographic information. You know, if we really wanted to know and take it to the next step, we could go over to Ad Planner. I don't normally dedicate this much time. I would probably just shoot her an email and see what she comes back with. But I just wanted to show you here real quick all the steps that you can do. Erica.biz. Okay, here she is. Okay, so we are here and we see that unique visitors regional, which is in the US, is 18,000 and worldwide is 36,000. Okay, so let's think about this. Alexa was reporting something like 46% was US traffic, and that's pretty close right here. Now it's telling me 100% is coming with some college. I'm not sure that that's accurate. Interesting here though, you know, site affinity, entrepreneur.com. So we know that if we're wanting to target people at entrepreneur.com, our site affinity is very well matched. Oh, look at here. We can see advertising information. So by going there, we found out some more information. She's saying here she has, in November 2009, 30,000 visitors. I'm not really concerned about what she was doing 3 years ago. A lot has changed to Google ranking. Let's see, we currently have one. I'm thinking this is out of date. Let's go ahead and contact her. So this is one blog that we found. We can keep repeating this step over and over, and that's how you can locate websites for direct buys using Google.